Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot, oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girlz. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here are your supernatural hosts, Patricia Baker and Becky Andreasson. Supernatural Girlz.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Supernatural Girlz Radio. I am your host, Patricia Baker, and I am here with my awesome co-host, Becky Andreasson. How are you, Becky?
Hi, Patricia. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, except I'm hearing that horrible echo again.
Oh, you're kidding.
I am not.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this is so everybody knows who is so patient with us. We've had an ongoing problem with Blog Talk Radio, and it seems like the beginning of every show we have a feedback echo. We've been talking to them about correcting this for months, and it continues, and it's aggravating. So what I'm going to have to do, I hate to do this, but I'm going to ask everybody who is called in to listen to the show. And Annie, I know you're so patient waiting on the phone also to get on and tell everybody your fabulous story. We're all going to have to hang up and call right back in. So just please bear with us. Everybody stay tuned in our listening audience. We will be back in just a minute. But in the meantime, let's all hang up and let's get rid of this feedback. Hi, everybody. We are back. Thank you for bearing with us with this feedback problem that we've had for too long. So anyways, Becky, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Right
All
back.
All right, so we got rid of the feedback. Good for us.
Oh, my goodness.
I know it.
I can't imagine what is going on here.
Yeah,
I really can't.
It's out of our hands. And, you know, we've begged on our hands and knees for help from Blog Talk, but it continues to haunt us. So anyways, maybe it's something supernatural, but I kind of doubt it. So tonight we have a really special guest, Annie Kagan. And Annie is the author of a really beautiful book, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, How My Bad Boy Brother Proved to Me There's Life After Death. Now, be sure to call in tonight if you've got a question for Annie. The phone number to call in is 646-478-0828. So we're going to bring Annie on in just a few minutes. We have a couple of announcements. We want to remind everybody to go to our website, supernaturalgirlz.com, and subscribe to the newsletter so you can receive all the latest and greatest show information, dream and prosperity tips. And Becky wrote something for this newsletter. Becky, it was great on faith. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
So everybody will be happy, I'm sure, and inspired to read that. We know so little about faith today, and I think many of us have kind of given up, but that was great. So everybody, you are missing out if you're not getting that newsletter. And we also have a supernatural store with products and services to light your way. And Becky and I are beginning our new class this weekend, and we only have one spot left. Yeah.
Yes. That's going to be so
if anybody out there wants to sign up, just send us an email. There's only one place, and we'd love to have you join us. And the class is called Dreaming the Impossible, a return to a state of grace. It's going to be really exciting and transformational. Now, Excellent. At the end of Supernatural Girlz tonight, Becky, you're going to deliver a message from the elders, right?
Yes, I am. I have my message ready. I sure do.
So everybody stay with us. That message could be for you. And I do have some unusual paranormal news tonight. And you and I both love time travel stories, and this is a time travel story out of July 1954, and it's called The Strange Mystery of the Man from Torrid. And I thought this was really unusual. So this man arrives at Tokyo Airport in Japan. He looks to be Caucasian and conventional looking, but the officials are suspicious of him for some reason. So they check his passport, and they see that he comes from a country called Torrid. Now, the passport looks genuine, except for the fact that there's no such country as Torrid. Well, at least in our dimension, right? So they interrogate this guy, and they ask him to point out where his country supposedly exists on a map. And he points towards this Principality of Andorra, but becomes angry and confused because he's never heard of Andorra. He can't understand why his homeland of Torrid isn't there. And according to him, it should have been, because it was supposed to have been there for more than 1,000 years. So custom officials find him in possession of money, several different European currencies. His passport has been stamped by airports around the globe, including previous visits to Tokyo. So they take him to a local hotel, put him in a room with 2 guards outside until they can get to the bottom of this. Now, the company he claims to work for has no knowledge of him, but he has all kinds of documentation to prove that he works for them. Oh. And the hotel he claimed to have a reservation for had also never heard of him. Oh. So everybody's shaking their heads over this. They don't know what to make of it. So later on, the hotel room he was held in was opened, and the guy's gone, disappeared. And they established there's no way he could have escaped out of the window. There was no balcony. The room was several floors up. He was never seen again. The mystery was never solved.
Now, that's amazing.
It's a good one. It's a good one, I think.
Time travel.
I'm a time traveler. I mean, it does make sense to me that it is indeed possible, given the fact that there were no other explanations that they could discover and uncover about who he was and what he was doing and where he was from. It's pretty cool.
It is, but the poor guy, it sounds like he got caught up in time travel. Because
he did, and probably didn't know what in the world was happening.
Yes, what's going on? Can you imagine? Here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully he got back to Torrid, homeland.
I hope so.
Oh, goodness. Well, like I mentioned before, Becky. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You know what it was? One of the angels up there left the door open. That's what happened.
They must have.
They left the door open. Yeah, he went right through, and they had to go back and get him.
I'm glad to hear that.
Happened.
Hopefully there was that happy ending that you're talking about. Absolutely. So our guest tonight is Annie Kagan, and you and I both love this book. A great book. Oh, my gosh.
It was beautiful.
Annie, for all of our listening audience, is a chiropractor and a songwriter. She was living in Manhattan and abandoned her hectic city life in search of serenity in a small, secluded house by the bay. And then her brother died unexpectedly, and even more unexpectedly, began speaking to her from the afterlife. So we want to hear all about this. Annie, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hi, Patricia. Hi, Becky. It's a pleasure to be here with you 2 supernatural girls.
Well,
it's wonderful to have you.
Yes. A terrific book, Annie. Oh, my goodness. And what a transformational experience. Oh, my. So please, start at the beginning with this incredible tale. I just can't wait to hear it from you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I like to think of the book as kind of the ultimate spiritual thriller because it really explores the greatest mystery, which is what really happens to us after we die. And as you said, I was a chiropractor. I was living in New York City, and after several years of practice, I began to really get very stressed out from the pace of the city, and especially from working with patients who were in pain. And I decided to remedy the situation by learning to meditate. But to my surprise, I became actually more sensitive instead of stronger. And it got to a point where I just started to not feel well being in the city, not feel well going to work. And I just sold everything, and I was pretty terrified, and I left my life. And I moved to a small house, and I really didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I kind of went back to songwriting, and then my brother kind of entered the scene. He had been missing for many years, and he was addicted to drugs and alcohol, which is something that he experienced through most of his life. And after many years of really trying to help him, finally I got a phone call one morning that he had been hit by a car in the middle of the night, and he was dead. And, of course, I was unbelievably grief-stricken, guilty, very guilty, because, of course, when you're dealing with an addict, you always feel like somehow you could have saved them. And I really couldn't get out of bed. I was so grief-stricken. And then 3 weeks after he was hit by a car, it was my birthday. It was right around this time of year. And it was sunrise, and really clearly I heard his voice calling me. He's saying, Annie, it's me, it's Billy. I'm like, oh my God, I must be dreaming, because Billy, you're dead. You can't be here. He's like, no, it's really me. Get up and get a notebook. So I get up, and as I'm looking for a notebook and a pen, I realize that I'm up and I'm walking and I'm not dreaming. And then he starts telling me about what's happening, and the first thing that he does is he reassures me that, he's fine now, that he's floating through a beautiful divine universe. He's being cared for by higher beings, and that there's nothing hard for him anymore. And then in his kind of charming bad boy way, he says, I really have to tell you, death really isn't as serious as we all think it is. In fact, it's really enjoyable. I don't think it could really even be better. So, don't worry, and I promise. What?
Well, there's a couple of surprises here, because, first of all, being addicted to drugs and alcohol, and from the things you wrote about in the book, it sounds like he was into some other nefarious things, too. So to hear that he passed and is having this incredible, joyful experience on the other side, that must have been surprising. And also just the fact the man is talking to you from the dead. I mean, both of those things must have been really shocking to you.
Oh, it's completely unexpected. And, of course, if you have someone you love who's kind of a character or doesn't always do the thing that everybody considers is the right thing, from what you've heard, you think, oh, my God, where are they, and what are they going through, and are they, and, it's scary, and you worry, just like you worried in life. So, I thought, number one, how could this be happening to me? And also, he sounds so wonderful. How could this really be him? But there was no question that it was his voice and it was his energy. And also, when he was talking, the beautiful atmosphere that he was describing came into my room, came into my life. And so the fear and the grief I was experiencing dissipated, and I felt the beauty that he was feeling. So, instead of feeling grief-stricken, now I felt almost euphoric. So it was quite a transformation in a short period of time, really.
Well, and for you were on quite a journey personally, because leaving your old life behind, which wasn't just your practice, it was also your husband, right? You had a separation.
I had a separation. I really had no idea how I was going to make a living. So, when my brother showed up before he was dead, it was kind of like, oh my God, this is supposed to be my time, and now here I am taking care of him. I just left everything behind to kind of try to find myself, and now I wasn't finding myself, and now, now he's on the other side, and now all of a sudden things have changed. He's kind of giving something to me. So I was already pretty lost, and in a way now having this experience made me even more separated from the world in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because really it wasn't something I was going around and telling everyone, I assure you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right. Yeah,
so you were moving over the spiritual realm. You were moving toward the spiritual realm more than living in the physical realm.
I was, and then the conversations that started took me even deeper into it. Right. And I try to explain to people, sometimes people can feel like, oh, well, why can't I have this experience? But people don't understand, like, I was meditating at that point. I had started meditating, and then when I moved out of the city, I was meditating 3 hours a day. So, that's already can make you a little disoriented. And then when you are in contact with the other side, it's almost a little bit like having a mini NDE, near-death experience. Mm-hmm. And people who have NDEs, talk about, they come back and it's kind of disorienting. And so, I was going through that over and over again. So it was, it was wonderful, and it was also, in a way, very hard work.
I can imagine that's balancing.
Yeah, I mean, how to balance this whole thing when you're right. on a journey to find yourself, but you've left everything behind. Your brother suddenly passes away, and he's talking to you from the other side, and you are writing everything down, and you did a beautiful job writing all this. I just couldn't put the book down. It was so good and so full of heartfelt information.
Well, thank you. I'm such a big fan of mysteries, and in a way, like, I was very, very, you read the book, so I was extremely resistant to writing the book. And so Billy kind of charmed me into it by using my love of mystery. He's like, well, look, you get to be a cosmic detective. You get to really see if all this is true or not. And so he really knew how to draw me in to the role of, is Billy real? What's really happening here? What's death really like? So he said, you don't have to be the crazy woman who talks to her dead brother. You can be a cosmic detective. And that really rang a bell for me. So that made it a lot of fun.
Yeah, he knew your buttons, didn't he?
Yeah, he really...
That was
it was like I had always been the one in charge, and now he was the one in charge. And he really knew how to get me to do what he wanted me to do, just like he did in life, kind of.
Yes,
so
he sounded like such a character, a wonderful character. I'm telling you, because I laughed, I cried, I was like, oh my gosh, throughout it, and then many things, I got it. I instantly understood what he was telling his sister. It was just beautiful. And then reaching out even to other people to say, like, okay, this one needs to know that, and this one needs to know that. And you found out they did need to know this and that. That was amazing.
That was amazing. And what's amazing to me now, and you could even go to my Facebook page, which is like a very busy community because everybody loves talking about all these things, that people have experiences with him now who read the book who never knew him.
Oh,
that
no
really
kidding.
blows my mind completely.
Oh, my
okay,
goodness.
Billy. Don't scare me tonight. I'm just warning him ahead of time, just in case, because the book was fabulous.
Thank
Say, don't
you.
scare Becky.
Now, let me ask
Oh, my
you too,
God.
Annie, if
Yes.
you could tell the audience a little bit more about your childhood, because there was well, he was much older than you, your brother
Yes.
Billy, right?
Yes,
How many
yes.
years older was he?
Oh, do we have to say that?
No, you could just give an approximation.
Let's just say he was like the next generation.
Yeah, because there was quite a difference in age there.
Yeah, because my mom had lost several babies in between.
See.
And so, he was like my much older brother. But you see, the thing was, he was always the bad boy, and I was always the good girl. That was our role in the family. But even though he was the bad boy and I was the good student and the one who listened to the rules, he seemed to be having a lot more fun than I did, because he was always out and dancing and he had girlfriends, and I kind of always looked up to him like he was a very loving person. Everybody loved him and was attracted to him and wanted to be around him, and he did what he wanted to do, where I felt more like I had to be the good one in the family. And I think it caused a lot of resentment I think he resented me a lot, because I was always held up as the one who he should be more like.
Right.
And
you were the one doing it right, and he was.
I was the one doing it right, and all I wanted was for him to love me. And he always kind of was a little distant, because I was always held up as the example. But then, now this is a really good point I want to make, is that, our relationship has changed enormously after he died. And now it's like he really understands that it was hard to be the good one. And he understands me in a way, and he loves me in a way that he wasn't able to when we were alive. So, I didn't write that much about that in the book, but that's a really wonderful part of what I go through with him now, is a much more loving relationship. So even if you have a relative, and especially if you have a relative that you've had a hard time with in life, that could transform into something very different later on, and they could actually, give you a lot of gifts and a lot of love that wasn't there when they were on Earth.
Yeah, because you had a very challenging relationship with him. He was taking up the entire polarity as the bad boy. That meant there was no room for you to be anything but the good girl. So, of course, there was going to be tremendous tension and very little room for you to do anything but what you did. So I can see, and again, having worked with many families, that happens a lot.
Yes, and I get so many messages because it's not talked about that much. And I think another thing, if you're in my position, is that in a way you're afraid to be too successful. Because the better you are, the worse they look, but you love them. And so it really becomes this struggle about you don't want to shine too bright. And I feel like now all the time he's telling me, no, I want you to shine. I really want you to shine. And it's such a lovely message. And I hear from so many people who have troubled siblings and how much it's affected their life. And really nobody talks about it that much. So, sometimes your relative will come back and give you gifts, and change your life, really. That's my experience anyway.
Well, it's a great one, and he clearly released you in so many ways, and hopefully other people will hear this and understand this, because there is a tremendous price you pay when you have a troubled sibling and you are in that good girl or good boy role. It's a trap. and it's very difficult to get out of it. So it's really nice that he has seen this struggle that you were in and the trap that you were in, as well as what he was in, and was able to kind of bless it and let it go and help you let it go. But it's not an easy one.
No, it's not an easy one, but I think that the fact that his life was not an easy one is the reason so many people can relate to the book, because he's not this upstanding lawyer, doctor, model citizen. He's somebody who lived a lot and through a lot of darkness and through a lot of light. And he's not saying that you have to have a perfect life in order to be loved. And it's such a relief for people to kind of hear the truth about life on earth, or about how incredibly, unbelievably intelligent, compassionate, and loving the divine really is, not judgmental the way people think about the divine, but truly of a different nature than we are.
Well, that makes perfect sense, because man likes to say what is and what isn't, and he more or less said that. You know,
yes.
This one says this and this one says that, but this is what I'm experiencing, and he was letting you know. And, I mean, that was just beautiful. And really, when you get right down to it, the divine is divine. The divine's going to love you no matter what.
No matter what, you know,
right.
and it's a very, what does he say? He says, you know, we talk about unconditional love on earth,
yes,
but really you don't really receive it, because there's always some condition on a relationship. But the divine is not like that. And it's such an incredible experience. Oh, and then later on in the book he says, you know, unconditional love is like saying, well, you know, I see all your flaws, but I love you anyway. He said, but over here it's like everything about you is incredible.
Yes.
You know, why you did this thing and who you are. Like, it's all so fascinating to the divine. So it's not like, yeah, okay, I accept you. It's much more than that.
And
That's
I wondered,
amazing.
has anybody said to you, any of your readers, how surprised they were to find out that he wasn't, like, burning in hell or something, you know, according to this religious doctrine? He did all these bad things, but yet he rose right up to the divine. So has anybody ever talked to you about that?
Oh, yes. I think that's one of the things at the beginning of the book that is so incredible, that he comes right and he's out and he says, you know, like, sin and punishment is a man-made idea. It's not the way it really is over here. And it's funny because the new pope is kind of the same mind as Billy in a way. Because, you know, when people say, oh, you know, like, how could he have done these horrible things? And they weren't really horrible things. It was mostly, you know, using drugs or stuff he did to himself, or, you know, it wasn't horrible. I mean, there are horrible things that go on earth. And recently the Pope said, you know, let whoever has never done anything wrong, he's talking about, you know, Christ, let that person throw the first stone. Mm-hmm. And really, none of us really have the right to throw that stone.
Yeah,
and that's another one of his lessons. You know, don't judge each other either, because you don't know what that person has signed up for. Maybe they came here. He said, you know, everybody criticized him so much for his drug addiction, but he came to Earth to explore that. That was part of what he was learning.
Wow.
And, you know, we can't really comprehend that. Like, why would somebody do that? And then I love his answer to that as well, which is, you know what, don't try to understand it because you can't with your human mind. So, I mean, that's another way that I think he has freed me so much, is that, we spend so much time trying to figure life out and how we're going to control this and why this is happening and that is happening. And he's like, you know what? You cannot really, with your mind, understand everything. So, now I just try to enjoy myself more.
Well, and he certainly talks about this in the book with you, that he did that when he was alive. I mean, he really embraced a lot of things in life, but it sounded like he also said he was pushing it as far as he could.
He was pushing it, and it was really only in the last few years that he suffered a lot. But you have to understand, aside from being addicted to drugs, he loved people. I mean, he ran drug centers for teenagers, and they adored him, and he helped save their lives. And he worked in the court system and had people paroled to drug centers instead of jails. If you were blue, you just wanted to sit with Billy. And I feel like, in a way, he's having the same effect through the book on people that he did in life. So I was never like that. I'm much more keep to myself. I'm not as friendly as he, but he really genuinely was an amazing lover of people. And I feel like,
you're saying he's more or less said you know what you're going to do before you even get here.
Yes,
so
he says. Well, he says, like, there's a blueprint, but there's a lot of freedom also inside the plan, right? So it's both. So this argument, like, well, is it all destined, or are we totally free? Well, it's both.
Right. He's seen that. He's seen many different ways he could have. Right. He could have gone this way, that way, that way, but he would have still came out at the end when it was his time to go. Correct. Correct, and the way that I use that in my life is like, I'm here. However I got here, I'm in the present moment. Yeah. People like they look back like, how did I get here? Or what did I do wrong? Or, it's like, whoa, I'm here. So let me take it from here. Do the best you can. Do the best I can from here, because this is where I am. I mean, because he goes through this whole thing where he's looking back at his life and, he's seeing it. What if he did it this way and that way? And he's able to view all these different life reviews. And he goes, you know what? Like, being here is a lot more interesting than the past. And so I try to emulate him a little bit in that way, that, okay, here I am. So let me just do the best with now. It really helps put you in the present moment.
It really does. And his release when he passed, it was such a dramatic passing where he ends up face to face with the driver of the car. I mean, that's just unheard of. And yet at the same time, he said how he wanted to kiss the driver and thank him. Yeah.
I know, that's the thing. It was always surprising, because it was that morning that the police didn't tell me that he had, gone through the windshield from outside the car. And the insurance company, though, when they called me later on, they told me. And of course, he's my brother and I love him, and I have this image in my mind, and so I just started crying hysterically. I put my head on the desk and I was sobbing, and of course, he comes for a visit and he says, Annie, I wish you could find that driver and just kiss him, because to him, he was delivered to this. Yeah. To this place where he needed to go. It was time for him to move on. And so it's always a different way of looking at things. He's always giving me a different way of looking at things. And it's usually funny. Like, I'm the serious, intense one. And he's very funny. He's like a very funny companion to have. Like, there were certain things, of course, that I did not put in the book. I couldn't put everything in the book. But, he entertains me a lot. He sings to me. Or especially when I'm really uptight and serious, he'll just lighten up the moment. Like, don't take it all so seriously. That's a really, really big message. And that doesn't mean that there aren't really serious things that go on here, because there are, and there are things I take seriously, and I protest, and I do what I can. But a lot of the stuff that we take seriously really isn't. So you learn to have a little bit of a sense of humor, a little more of a sense of humor, which I think is a gift
for the soul.
It is.
Yes.
Wonderful.
He sounds so loving, I'm telling you, up there. And then even coming and showing himself, you actually seen him, and almost like like an angel in the sky, dancing and doing different things. I mean, he got you to laugh that way and show up that way. You actually could see him.
At the first, I couldn't see him. At first, I could only hear him.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, I heard him really loudly. Then, as he would change and go through different realms, the way I would hear him would change. So then he started to appear as like a globe of light, and I would focus on the globe of light, and then I would be able to hear him. And then he was telling me to do things that I really didn't want to do. And because again, I was very serious, like, I don't want to write this book and be the woman who talks to her dead brother. I don't want to reveal these secrets, very, very serious. And he's telling me, it's time to really start putting all this stuff together and getting the book together. And then I pretended that I couldn't hear him. He would I didn't see him, I didn't hear him, I figured, I'm just going to pretend I don't hear him until I figure out what to do. So then, in his way, I go outside, and all of a sudden, I see him. And he's like in the sky, and he's an angel, but he's not like a normal angel. He's like an angel, and his halo is crooked. Like you used to get like halos from a party store, and it was like crooked on his head, and he was like making faces, like angel faces, very over exaggerated. And again, he was just saying, "This is not that serious, honey. Look." So,
wow.
Yeah.
Really eye-opening. I mean, this is, again, I want to recommend this book to everybody. Your book is fabulous, and it is available at Amazon.com, right? Yes?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay. Amazon ebook, and also please go to Facebook, because you'll really enjoy it and get a really good taste of what it's about.
Well, the book, again, is called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, How My Bad Boy Brother Proved to Me There's Life After Death. Well, stay tuned, everybody. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. We've got some callers that are patiently waiting to ask you questions, Annie, so everybody Stay tuned. And if you want to call in, the number is 646-478-0828. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
This is Veronique Raskin, founder of the Organic Wine Company. As one of the pioneers of the organic wine movement, since 1980, I have brought you the very best and most authentic organic wines directly to your table. I work with small family estates who grow certified organic grapes and produce exceptional wines. You can purchase our wines individually from our website at theorganicwinecompany.com or join one of our wine clubs. Our organic wines are perfect for you and for your family as gifts for friends and relatives, and they are simply spectacular for the holidays. Visit us at theorganicwinecompany.com to enjoy the very best organic wines conveniently delivered to your door. I am Veronique Raskin, passionate about my mission. I offer to you vegan, organic, and biodynamic wines made by people of the heart, wines with a heart. Au revoir. Call us at 1-888-ECO-WINE.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the source. With Cosmic Fusion, the source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion, www.KOSMICfusion.com, to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com.
Everybody, we are speaking with Annie Kagan, the author of a terrific book, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, How My Bad Boy Brother Proved to Me There's Life After Death. So let's take a phone call. We have Kathy on the line from Massachusetts. And Kathy, welcome to the show. You have a question for Annie?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, ladies, and for your wonderful show. And, Annie, I can relate to you in a number of ways. I'm a chiropractor myself still, and only practicing a couple days a week because in my heart-centered work, I'm a medium connecting with spirit, and love your book, have read it a number of times, have bought many copies as gifts for people. I teach a class. It's on the reading list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great educational tool. The reason why I wanted to call in tonight was as a medium, I hear so many similar things from the beauties in spirit who are connecting with their loved ones here. I hear many of the same things that your brother has shared through you with the world. And because you've been working with him in such a direct way, what I'm wondering is, what might you say to me as a person who is helping others with this work? What might be either one or two of the most important points that you would want people like me who are sharing this work with others to share with others?
Actually, I think that the most important thing would be to tell you to take care of yourself.
Okay.
Because I think if you don't take care of, there's a lot of energy that happens when you're doing this, and I find that if you don't take care of yourself, then you won't be able to help others. So I think it's like really important to take care of yourself. And one of the things that Billy has told me that has helped me enormously is to keep a lot of order around yourself, to keep a lot of order in the rooms that you work, to keep a lot of order with the in the room where you're working with people. I think that's really important. As far as knowledge to convey, I think that one of the most important messages is that if we are speaking with another level, what does that mean for us really? It means that we are divine eternal beings.
Yes.
And so if you could bring that sense of eternity into your life now as a very real thing, not a fairy story that we're being told to make us feel better, but as a reality, then it will transform somebody's life completely.
Yeah. And it is pretty amazing because the more and more that I do this work, and I completely hear your message, I notice that keeping balance is so important, and I'll only do so much of the work in a week, say, for example, because, you have to really keep your energy and such. And I do notice, especially this year, just simplifying and cleaning out does strengthen.
Oh, there you are. We lost you for a minute.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I was just saying that I completely understand what Annie's saying because I notice even more particularly this year as I get more simple that it gets stronger or more complete or easier or whatnot to keep the balance between my regular life. Well, I mean, it's all my regular life, but you know what I mean, ladies,
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And, go clean out a drawer. Or like all the things that Billy taught me to do, they're like really what you would call very practical things. They're not what we would consider spiritual things, like be very careful about what you eat. Be very, very picky about keeping order around yourself. When you're not working with people, be very, very selective about your friends. Don't be with friends who just drain you.
Right, that's right.
Be with people that you go back and forth. So I think it's, the word I like to use, it's funny, but be very discriminating about your life and make sure your life feeds you energy. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and as you know, as having been a chiropractor, you know that the relationship that we have with people is different than as a medical physician. And what I know now is that's why I'm only seeing patients 2 days a week, because I'm really striving to keep that balance, that you're talking about. So, Annie, many blessings. Your book really, what I say is that your book is touching people in ways that you understand because you get a lot of feedback, but your book is touching people in ways that I don't know that you ever will understand, because you don't know about me, this little chiropractor medium in Massachusetts, sharing your book with people, talking about it. I refer to it. I'll say in this book I learned, da-da-da-da. So it is really a gift, a complete and total gift. Wow.
Annie, thanks so much, because you're helping me to help other people, and that's what it's all about. So many blessings, and Patricia and Becky, many, many blessings on you both, and keep up the great work, everybody.
Oh,
thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
Bye-bye
your
for
call.
now. My pleasure.
Well, isn't that nice? I mean, I love hearing callers like this. This is great.
That was
and
beautiful.
Annie, what great advice you gave, that keeping of order. Oh, my goodness, that is so important, and being discriminating. I mean, just great advice all around.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, because I had a lot of trouble, especially at the beginning with the communications. I was so disoriented, and I really didn't go out a lot, and he had to teach me step by step, and they were all very practical things, like don't go out without sunglasses.
Oh.
Because in a way, I felt like, okay, so it's a protective thing where I feel like I'm a little bit hidden, and it made me feel a lot better. And even things like, even if you're going out to lunch with somebody and, you've been in a higher state, just wear sunglasses. And it worked great. So,
wow.
Very little practical things.
Mm-hmm. Mean a lot. Yeah.
They do.
Absolutely.
What's so cool about these communications also is just that, because so many people that do have communications or do speak with mediums often get very ambiguous messages. And your brother's so specific. That's really helpful. I mean, all of these things that he's saying, those are specific messages. I love it.
Right, and also if you think about it, if you're going up, let's say, or if you're going higher, you really want to ground yourself by not trying to get even higher. People don't understand that you want to actually, one exercise I can share with you that I don't think this is in the book that he used to have me do after we visited is that, I would lie down and put my feet, how you peak your knees are peaked, but your feet are flat on the floor, and he would have me picture a red light like 2 inches below my navel and through my feet, like where my big toes are, like red lines going down, red lights going way down into the core of the earth to like reground me. And it helped so much. So, get back into your body. Don't do what you consider, spiritual things. Do things that are really of the earth.
I totally understand that, because I hear from the spiritual realm, and I've traveled back and forth in realms, and different beings have spoken with and interacted with. And you can even ask Patricia or any one of my family members. I'm a barefoot walker. I have to go outside. I don't even care if it's winter. I am barefoot, grounding myself, and it feels wonderful.
Yeah, it's very important. And also, I want to say that I am a vegan, and I think that helps a lot as well. Mm-hmm. Because I think it just, and I'm not advocating this for everyone, because I'm not somebody who feels that everybody should do what I do, but I do think it helps to keep your energy more pure. And so I don't think that you come down quite as hard. So that's something that I do. And also I try to eat a lot of greens. It's like really practical things, a lot of berries, a lot of greens, healthy things.
Healthy food.
Things that feed your body, that feed your blood.
Geez,
well,
there
that
goes
makes
my
sense.
coffee.
Coffee? I have coffee every morning. And a lot of pleasure, things that please you. That's the other thing. It's not just about healthy, but things that give you pleasure.
Yes. That's true, and coffee does that for me, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, me too. I love my morning cup of coffee. But I have it with my soy milk, so.
Oh, wow. Well, Becky's one of these rare birds. She can drink coffee all the way up to bedtime and then fall right to sleep. It's amazing.
Yep.
Wow, that's a talent. Now that's a talent I wish I had.
And I do it, and I love it. It's great. I don't know. I think coffee loves me. That's why.
Well, actually, now, they're showing that there are a lot of health benefits to coffee, that they're before coffee was bad, now that they're showing that there are health benefits, And actually, my acupuncturist says it's very good for the heart because it's bitter. But here's another, just a side thing that I learned from being a chiropractor, is that everybody is different and everyone has a different constitution. And part of our search here is finding the foods that are good for us because everybody's different.
That's right.
Oh, that's
I know
true.
a lot of people cannot do that. Drink it right up to bedtime and then
I can't.
go right to sleep.
Right, and for you, it's wonderful. So just as our spiritual journey is unique, so is our food journey. You know, that's the whole fun of life, is finding out what's good for you, what works for you.
That's true. It is so individual. We have so many callers here. Let's take another caller. And this is Sharon in New York. She would like to share her experience with you, Annie. So, Sharon, welcome to the show. Do you have a question for Annie?
Yes, thank you. Well, I just basically, I mean, your experience is amazing, but I've had a couple of my own that I just wanted to share.
Please.
I guess about in 2001, I lived in Florida then and moved back to New York. I was in New York, went to Florida, moved back to New York. But anyhow, I lived in Florida then. In between awake and asleep, I went to this place. I didn't see anyone. All I saw was the most beautiful meadow, and I mean, it was just a place where there was flowers that looked as if it had come off of an artist palette. It was just, I felt an incredible amount of unconditional love. I mean, bliss, peacefulness, euphoria. I mean, there are no adjectives to really describe how I felt. And again, I didn't see anybody. I just was screaming, I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back. I want to be in, I mean, I was pure consciousness. I wasn't, you know, I didn't like really see a body. I was just like, you know, but it was just an amazing place. Anyhow, about a year later, my mom passed away. And I know now that this was a preparation for me for my mom's passing. Because
that's beautiful.
I'm of the Jewish faith, and there is no rabbi. There was no book. There was nothing to, you know, nothing at all to have that comforted me more than having had that experience. And the second experience, well, I've had so many myself, but the second experience was in 2005, when I lived in Florida. We had a lot of hurricanes that year, and what had happened was we had a hurricane, and my husband was working in the backyard, and we had like a screened-in pool, and anyhow the screens flew, and the phone rings. I wasn't home, and he picks up the phone. That was about a month. Well, fast forward, it's Mother's Day. Anyhow, I'm sitting there, and my husband's like, Sharon, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, do you have cancer? Are you going to divorce me? Did you meet? I mean, this is how serious it sounded. You know, like, what? Are you going? He said, it took me a month just to tell you this. He said, but like 3 or 4 weeks ago, your mom called. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I was like in a state of shock. He said, your mom called, and all she said was, oh my goodness, it's Sharon. It was 5,000% her. I just did not know how to tell you. But the fact, you know, but in retrospect, I'm thinking and I'm saying, okay, he told me on Mother's Day. So, I mean, this was totally orchestrated by her saying, hey, you know what? I want to just tell you, I'm still your mom. You're still my daughter. I love you. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
I mean, that's the way I interpreted these things. And I've just seen on my daughter's 11th birthday, it was first birthday without Grandma, I saw this beautiful orb. Inside there was like rainbow colors vibrating. I'm like, am I really seeing this? I mean,
yes, you are. Yes, you are. And that's, I think that's the important thing is for us to, Billy calls it, enter the quantum ballroom. You know, we all get signs, we all hear things, we see things, and it's important to go with it and believe it because it's an opening that will bring more gifts. So I think that's beautiful and lucky, and I totally believe it.
I mean, to me, it was a part of grace. You know, it was grace actually, and I just feel so blessed having had these experiences, and just knowing that, you know, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're all here to learn and grow, and that's why we plan these crazy things that happen. And I mean, we're all you know, we learn from these mistakes or not mistakes. I mean, everything happens for a reason. So
yes, and one of the things that I love that Billy has taught me is that I don't really have to know the reason right now. It's like I can just live, what does he say? You know, life is a divine, mysterious impulse to be tasted and released. And I think we'll understand more later. Now I think it's ours to live and enjoy and make the best of.
Right, and enjoy the moment, but also know that whatever happens for a reason. And you know, that's what I truly believe, and I've found that to be true. So, you know, I bless you for your book and your healing and bringing comfort to others, and I feel that I do that too with my own experiences. You know, I tell people, I mean, some of them look at me a little crookedly, but these are my experiences.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah, I guess so, but I guess it's like I mean, if I plan to see it, it's like I guess I feel good about that, because people need to know that life indeed does go on, and
that we are eternal. Yes,
exactly.
And that the love does not go away; it's still there.
Absolutely, love is eternal, and that's something that just will never die. And you and your brother are so connected. Me and my mom was so connected. I mean, I was an only child, and I lost my father 40 years ago. So I went absolutely berserk after he passed away, and I think that was her way of coming. This whole thing was like the way of saying, you know, I'm here. It's okay. I didn't leave. You know,
yes,
so,
and that you believed it, that was a gift that you gave to her back. So it's really important for us to also offer them our beliefs. I think that's the gift that we give back to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I thank goodness. I've been spiritual enough to see that was, you know, the intent that was the intention. So I'm very blessed for that.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for your call.
I just wanted to share those stories.
Well, thank you. Thank you for calling in. We so appreciate your call.
Okay, and thank you, guys. Thank you, and God bless you both. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got some wonderful callers tonight, huh? This is great.
Yeah, very beautiful story and very important story, because I do think that when we respond to the signs, it's our love going back. You know, I hear so many wonderful stories now, and that reminds me of a story of a woman who was very young when her father died. She was about 28, and he was an army man. And she never really felt his love, like, while he was alive, because he wasn't all cuddly and fuzzy. And after he died, she realized how much he really had loved her. And she started playing this song, You Are the Wind Beneath My Wings, and she would kind of like play it every day and dedicate it to him and say, here, Dad, this is for you. And then one day she was having a really, really bad day, and she turned on the radio, and that song came on, and she knew it was him. She knew it was him giving her the song back. And so, you know, I think that reaching out and paying tribute is very important, and it opens the channel.
Well, that's a nice way to put it. And I also like what you told Sharon, our last caller, because when you shared the part about how it goes both ways, it's not just that we're getting healing from them, they're also getting healing from us when we continue the conversation, when we continue to share our perspective on things. Just like I know you mentioned that your brother was also getting healing in terms of the relationship struggles that you both had, the roles that you played in your family. So it goes both ways.
It goes both ways, but it's a little different than that, in that I feel that, you know, once they cross over, they are already in a healed state, but they like to reach back and help heal us. And another point I want to make about that, because I get this question quite often, is, well, if they're there for us, kind of being our guardian, aren't we like preventing them from moving on? And the answer to that is no, because in the afterlife, you're able to move quantumly through the different levels. So therefore, they can be in more than one place at a time. So it's almost like they can leave a little seed kind of near our world to be a guardian for us, while they also go and journey, because Billy was journeying through many realms, but also able to be here for me. So sometimes I get that question like, oh, I feel guilty if I ask them to, you know, to hang around. Am I impeding their progress? So the answer is definitely no, you're not.
Yeah, that's great. That is a great
That's
piece
almost
of
like
information.
omnipresent.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. Like they can visit any level below where they are, and stay high at the same time. So
connected with the divine.
Exactly. Not high in, you know, the way Billy likes to stay high on earth, but high up.
That's right.
You know, I have to share with you, when I was reading the book, I thought back on one of the therapists that we did work with, and she had some very special techniques that she used. But she used to say that people that were addicted to drugs and alcohol were actually the most spiritual people on the planet. And I used to think she was crazy. And then, as I'm reading your book, I'm seeing how quickly your brother went from where he was as a drug and alcohol addict to total divine assimilation here, it seems. And he continued on his path also, it looks like, pretty rapidly. And I thought back to what this therapist said, and I was like, darn it, she was probably right. And she used to also say that people who came here with addictions had to make a choice between spirits, plural, or spirit. So that was, it just all came together for me when I read this about your brother. It's very interesting.
Oh, yes, it's very interesting. My spiritual teacher had also told us that people with addiction problems are very sensitive souls. And as we all know, this earth plane can be quite difficult and harsh.
Yes.
And, you know, sometimes really sensitive souls have a hard time dealing with some of the issues here. But I think that, you know, in Billy's case, it was like he was like a cat with 9 lives. He had addiction problems. He had so many relationships. He was in jail. He healed people. You know, he lived so many lives. And I do feel that a lot of it was in preparation for writing the book and being able to go to people and reach them in so many different areas. Like one particular email I got was from a mother who said she had 3 children who were all heroin addicts.
Oh, my.
And that they were all the most beautiful angels. And thank Billy, because now she knows she's not crazy, because, of course, people will say very harsh things about people who have addiction problems, but she knew in her heart that her children were so beautiful. And so one of the things I think Billy is trying to accomplish here is getting some of the shame out of that kind of interpretation of having an addiction problem. It's just a problem like having any other disease is, I don't know if I should use the word problem, but, it's something we're exploring. And I think the world would be a much better place and people would do much better if we didn't attach so much judgment to something that somebody else had to go through.
He had great faith,
agree.
too.
Yeah.
Because you wrote in there that he loved God, and he said, please don't leave me, God. He had great inner faith also.
Oh, that was one of the most beautiful things.
Yes,
where,
that brought me to tears.
I found his diaries, and they were for real. And I kind of, at first, I was very hesitant to read them because they were so private. But he said he actually had led me to them. And so he said, no, I want you to read them. And every single entry was written to God. And what was amazing was that at the end, all he kept talking about was how much he wanted to write a book to help people. This gets me really choked up. Please, God, help me find a way to get my book to people to help them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of amazing that, and I found that later, not when we started writing the book. So it's almost like he had this really strong desire, and it's reaching across the world.
Yeah.
So
and
that
the divine being, so connected with the divine being. And I even understood when he said not to judge other people or think of this and that, because here he was going through everything he went through and still loved God and said, don't leave me, God, and then was writing to God. I mean, that's the divine sphere, the divine being. He knew right then and there, all along, even though all these hardships that
he knew, and
existing.
And his drug counselor, like the first thing he said to me when Billy died was like, oh well, he's such a disappointment. He just didn't trust his higher power. And that was so untrue. That's like saying, that a person with cancer, if they trust their, the higher power, they won't die. I mean, we really don't understand why people die and why they're meant to die now or not to die. And, you can't judge somebody else's connection to the divine. That's I think that's also what the Pope is saying now, Like, please don't judge somebody else's. Boy, I keep talking about the Pope. I hadn't planned on it. But I seem to be very moved by him. It's just really you don't know what somebody else is their inner life is, their inner connection is.
Their soul. Right.
Pay attention to your own, really.
Yeah, don't we all have our hands full with ourselves? I mean, if you're doing it right, I guess you do have your hands full with just yourself. So who has the time to be looking at someone else?
Exactly. That's something my teacher always used to say, like, mind your own spiritual business.
But, Billy brought up something else in the book with you that I found very, very interesting, and I think it's something that everyone needs to pay more attention to, and that his addiction started when he was in the womb. And I really believe that what he wrote through you is true, because his mother, your mother, was given morphine. And
that's right.
He became addicted then. And that's one thing that we're finding. I know when I was a therapist for so many years, there was a lot talked about with women who had been given so many different levels of drugs during the process of labor. And it really did set a lot of people up for drug addiction. And this has not fully been addressed ever. But if you look at the rise in drug addiction, and you can actually correlate it with women giving birth with a tremendous amount of drugs in their system. And here,
wow, I didn't know that. That is fascinating.
Yeah, and here your mother had morphine being given just when she was pregnant, even pre-labor. So, I mean, I can see exactly what he was saying in the book, and it's true. And we need to pay attention to that as a culture and start, and I think there has been a movement away from so much medication during pregnancy and certainly during labor, but it's still an issue. So I love that was brought out in the book.
That's a really great point. And, sometimes we're just born into circumstances that we don't totally have control over. I mean, we do in that we selected it. But then there are things that there are contracts, there are things, like between my brother and my mother. I always wondered, okay, because they were always fighting. They fought my whole childhood. And I was always sitting there thinking, now whose fault is it? Is it Billy's fault? Is it my mom's fault? She's awfully hard on him. But look at him. He's misbehaving so terribly. And then it was like, guess what, Annie? He said it's from the afterlife. It's no one's fault. We were supposed to do this together. We signed up to do this dance. So it's not really about blame, like the whole thing of karma, well, I did this bad thing to you in my last life, so now you'll be the victim and I'll be the victimizer. He says, it doesn't really work like that. It's not like an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. It's more like, oh, let's do this dance next time. Maybe we can learn something from this dance together. Unfortunately, I had a post on Facebook today that said, I signed up to do this dance before I was born. And, it's a very funny site, so people can have a sense of humor on it, because Billy has a sense of humor, and people are saying, wow, I must have been in ecstasy and I didn't realize what it was going to really be like.
I didn't realize how far I was going to fall. Yeah.
Or, I think I got on the wrong line. Yeah. Or, someone was supposed to come with me and do it, and then they left, and I really hate when that happens. So
that's cute.
They bailed on him, huh?
Yeah, but I want to also say something about that, because I've really, this answered something for me. The book is a teaching device. It's that the soul really, because the soul knows it's eternal, it's not really that concerned with pleasure or pain, because it will go on and it will eventually be unaffected by it all. So that's when, we have our lessons. But I love when Billy says, but that doesn't mean when you're on earth, you're supposed to say if something difficult happens, it doesn't mean you're supposed to say, oh, this is so wonderful, I love it. Because part of the plan is that we do prefer pleasure over pain when we're in the body. So, it kind of incorporates both ends of the spectrum. You understand that, the soul is beyond it, but the human element, of course, we like to have pleasure more than we like to suffer.
Let's hope. I think sometimes things get a little cross-wired, and then we should probably make an attempt to undo that. So we do have another caller. Let me see if I can get Margaret from North Carolina on the line. She's been so patient waiting here. Margaret,
hello, Margaret.
You're live on the air.
Yes, hi, how are you doing now?
We're all doing great.
Yes.
That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, I wanted to thank Annie for writing this book and through her brother and everything, because it has changed my life completely. I have been through so many things in my life, and several of them have been mentioned on the program about addiction and stuff like that. My mother, whenever I was growing up, from the time she was about 12 years old up until about 2 years ago, she was basically just a profound addicted alcoholic. And she didn't mind hurting anybody. She never had any illnesses that she knew about, because everything she had and everything she did was basically around that alcohol. And if she did anything rude or mean to anybody or any of us, she didn't care. And she got to the point where it was like her life was just evolved around that bottle. And my sisters and I didn't have any life around her because we just didn't count.
Yes.
And so here about 2 years ago, February 14th, as a matter of fact, it'll be 2 years, she went into seizures, and she had them for 4 days, and they almost couldn't stop them. And all of a sudden, within a matter of about 4 days, she started coming around, and she started, coming out of it, and we had to put her in a nursing home for a while to get her to the point of being able to walk normal again and everything. And my husband had to have power of attorney over her to take care of her, bills and all that kind of stuff. So it was a matter of him having to deal with it. And 2 out of 4 of us girls decided, and I've got 3 other sisters, we decided we were going to have to take care of her because she just couldn't handle anything by herself. So she became dry, and from then on, I realized that she was going through things that she'd never experienced before.
Wow.
And one of them was what you all mentioned earlier about the sensitivity of people that are addicts.
Yes.
Was the fact that all of a sudden she started connecting with things like my husband had told me a long time ago that he said that he could see a light around me, and he could see a light in my face almost all the time. I've been able to have connections with, I don't know what you call it, medium or whatever, as, for the most part, I can see things, I can sense things, I can feel things and stuff like that ever since I was a child. And all of a sudden, that one day she told me, she said, "You can't see that light?" And I said, "Huh?" And she said, "Yeah, you've got a light about you." And she said, you've never noticed that? And I said, "No, I haven't." And she said, "Well, sweetheart," she said, you've got the brightest light that I have ever seen glowing all around you.
Wow, so now she was able to really give back to you something that she hadn't been able to give you before.
Yes. And it was so beautiful because all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I was actually seeing my mother for herself instead of seeing her through the alcohol.
Wow. And what a blessing that she said that it was while she was still with you on earth, too.
Yeah, she's still here, and God love her, I still take care of her. My husband takes care of her once a week to give my sister and me a break, but I take care of my mother in the morning, and my sister takes care of her in the evening, and we just go back and forth and all that to be with her and get her out and everything. But it was so surprising to me because here about a year and a half ago, when she went to the doctor to get her clean bill of health and everything, they told me that her liver was completely clean.
Wow, so that's quite miraculous. So you've had quite a quite a little miracle going on for you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And a nice healing before she even moved on. Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's great, Margaret.
One of the things that I also had in the book that was in the book, Annie, is the fact that Billy was talking about these teeny little lights.
Yes.
Lights, and I have seen them in the past. I guess about the last couple of years. But we had snow here earlier this week, and it was more ice than it was snow. But all of a sudden, I went out day before yesterday, and I'm standing out in the middle of it, and all of a sudden, the visual in front of me is nothing but these beautiful little teeny microscopic lights. And it was all over the place, and I'm just standing there looking out at it and just seeing them just glowing.
And it was ice, which are crystals, right? Ice are all crystals.
But it was funny because I was looking down at it, and then I looked up in the air, and it was all in the air around me. I looked up, and I could see it all in the air.
And did you feel kind of loved?
Oh, my gosh. I was just completely taken over by it. It was just like somebody had just completely covered me over. And I saw a blue light. I saw that blue light.
I pay attention to light in life. Like, I don't just consider it light, like the sunset or light reflecting off the snow or the water. I think it's really good to pay attention to light.
Yes.
I think there's healing energy in the lights that we see around us.
Yes, and that's what I've started seeing. I've seen this blue light. I've started seeing it. Believe it or not, I've actually started seeing it ever since I started reading the book.
Wow. Yeah.
It's even more profound than it was. I was seeing it about 2 or 3 weeks before, and then whenever there's a friend of mine that has a site that I connect to as to the fact that that's what she had on her site was letting me see the fact of your book. And whenever I saw it, I read a little bit of the beginning of it on Amazon. I'm like, oh, my God, I've got to get this book. I've got to get it. And honest to goodness, I have not wanted to put it down.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. That makes me very happy.
Thank you. God. Thank you so much for your call, Margaret. We're going to have to go to commercial break, but please keep listening to the show, and thank you so much for your call.
And thank you, Annie, so much.
Bye, Margaret.
Bye-bye.
So we are going to take a short commercial break, and we will be right back. If you have a question for Annie, call in at 646-478-0828. We'll be right back.
This is Veronique Raskin, founder of the Organic Wine Company. As one of the pioneers of the organic wine movement, since 1980 I have brought you the very best and most authentic organic wines directly to your table. I work with small family estates who grow certified organic grapes and produce exceptional wines. You can purchase our wines individually from our website at theorganicwinecompany.com or join one of our wine clubs. Our organic wines are perfect for you and for your family as gifts for friends and relatives, and they are simply spectacular for the holidays. Visit us at theorganicwinecompany.com to enjoy the very best organic wines conveniently delivered to your door. I am Veronique Raskin, passionate about my mission. I offer to you vegan, organic, and biodynamic wines made by people of the heart, wines with a heart. Au revoir. Call us at 1-888-ECO-WINE.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the source. With cosmic fusion, the source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion, www.KOSMICfusion.com, to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Welcome back. We are speaking with Annie Kagan, who is the author of the fabulous book, The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, How My Bad Boy Brother Proved to Me There Is Life After Death. And we have a question from the chat room for you, Annie, so I'm going to ask it for them. And the question is, did you have any psychic experiences before this communication started with your brother?
I didn't. Not of this nature. I never felt that I was a psychic. I always felt like I was kind of intuitive, though, whatever that means, that I didn't always go by what was in my head, but much more kind of just a feel for things in life. So I always lived life from my intuition. But no, I never had any psychic experiences before this one.
Okay, and the other question from the chat room was and is, what kind of meditation did you study?
It was a form of something called Sant Mat meditation. It was a form of it, and Sant Mat is an ancient Sikh meditation. Actually, Rumi was supposed to have practiced it, and it's very stringent. You have to be a vegan you have to get initiated into it, and you make several promises, and one of them is to be a vegan, and the other one is that you will meditate for several hours a day. And I have to say that I was quite shocked that I agreed to do those things. I was kind of a woman. I would have lunch with the girls and, go shopping at Barney's and this and that. And actually, it was through one of I had done other spiritual things in the past, and then I just really wanted to learn to meditate. No matter how much I had tried in the past, no one would ever teach me to meditate. I had a Sufi music teacher when I was a singer. I was like, please teach me to meditate. He's like, no, your singing is your meditation. Anyhow, I went through so many searches for, to meditate. And then what happened was I had a patient whose energy was very, very special. In fact, he's in the book. His name in the book is Guru Guy. Oh. And when I would work on him, I was like, wow, he's got great energy. And then one day I said, do you meditate? And it turned out that he did. And then I said, well, I have to go to your teacher. And the teacher wasn't even here anyway. So for me to agree to meditate 2.5, 3 hours a day, I was already pretty much a vegetarian, but to completely give up fish and to do all these other really stringent things. I mean, I have to say almost everybody in the group that I was in was Asian. And the white people, we were all called snowflakes. So I was the foreigner. And I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help doing it. It was like my mind was going, really? This is what you're going to do? Really? You're going to sit in your house and meditate for 3 hours a day? But for some reason, I was just compelled to do this thing. So there are different Santmat teachers everywhere, and but you have to be very, very dedicated because it really is quite a stringent practice.
That sounds it. Now they're asking in the chat room, how do you spell that type of meditation?
It's SANTMAT. It's, I think the translation is the way of the saint. Oh. And you get initiated, and you get a special mantra, and you have to be a vegan. There's a lot of different groups, so you could check out the different teachers. But you got to be ready for it because you don't know what's gonna. Like my life kind of fell apart, right? I mean, I couldn't practice anymore. I needed to separate. So it was very powerful in my case. But I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it sounds like if you want a big change in your life, that's the kind of meditation for you, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't think it happened to everyone. I have to say that I really, really, really feel that writing this book was somehow my destiny because everything pushed me in the direction. Everything that I've done in my life fed my ability to do it. Like, for example, being a musician and being a lyricist and working with a wonderful producer who loved my lyrics and worked with me for years perfecting my ability to use words, and I fell in love with words. And so, therefore, I was able to write my part of the book because I had been writing words for such a long time. And doing music is also working with invisible energy. And I have to say that I really, really feel that this book isn't my personal thing. I feel like I'm the messenger because I can hear my brother, and it's very, very funny that all the things that he used to be angry at me about, like, being a good writer or, being very diligent in my work, where he wasn't, because I worked on the book so hard, or, being driven and trying to get it to a publisher. He's like, wow, now I'm really glad you have all those things.
Developed a new appreciation for that. That's wonderful.
He's got a new appreciation for, the things that I could add to what he wants to do.
Well, you could really bring it to fruition.
Yes.
Exactly. So I just really want to say, it's faded, and I want to say that I recently had a dream. I think this is really important that I want people to know. And in the dream, Billy came over to me, and he was Billy, but he had little wings, like little golden wings, and they were fluttering, you know. And in the dream, I didn't know that he had died. I thought, you know, he was still alive, and he came to me and said, Annie, I really need your help. And I'm like, oh, God, Billy, you always need my help. What do you need my help for? He said, I just need your help. I really need you to help me. And I'm like, oh, my God, what do you need? Money for drugs? You need help? Like, what do you need? And he said, just promise me that you're going to help me because what I want to do, I can't do it without you. So I'm like, okay, Billy, I promise I'll help you in any way you need. And then he came over and he gave me like this little golden kiss. And then he flew off into the world. And then I woke up and I realized that, you know, Billy is doing things that I have no idea through this book. Mm-hmm. And that I've agreed to help him. And he's free, and I feel really good about that. Like, I've freed him to somehow do what it is he wants to do. And it's somewhat of a mystery to me.
It's beautiful. What a beautiful dream. I mean, you two are a terrific team. No
yeah, Gracie Allen and George Burns.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's you're a wonderful team, and I want to bring back around some things that Becky touched on earlier when we first started speaking about this, because Billy reached out to your husband, warned about his illness, and also to your friend Tex, who you referred to as Tex's book about her drinking. So tell us a little more about that, because this is, again, how Billy has, in tandem with you, reached out and really been a big help to people in their lives here.
A big help. I'd prefer to tell the story about my husband, because people who haven't read the book, I like the mystery of Tex to unfold on its own.
Okay.
So this is true, and that's another thing about the book is there are a lot of proofs in the book. So if you haven't read the book, by the time Billy came the second time, I felt like I needed some proof that it wasn't my imagination. I had no idea how I could be imagining him talking to me, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I had gone a little crazy from grief or something. So, you know, he promised he would give me proof, and he did, and he gave me proof by involving other people. So he would give me messages, and I would give them to other people, and they'd go, wow, how did you know that? And it kept escalating. And it was always pretty innocuous and kind of happy and nice things. And one day, as I was waking up, just as I put my feet on the floor, I heard this really scary, evil voice telling me that my husband, Steve, was really, really, really going to be very, very sick. And he was really very sick. And I was really upset because I knew it was Billy, but it didn't sound like Billy. And why was he using this evil voice? And why was he telling me something terrible? And I was just really, really upset. And Steve had not been feeling well, and he had gone to the doctors, and the doctors told him he just had a stomach virus, and they gave him some antibiotics. So I called Steve. I didn't want to tell him that Billy had said this, because what if it wasn't Billy, or what if Billy was wrong? It was too much responsibility. And he really believed in, you know, the reality of Billy. So I said, you know, I think you ought to go to the doctor again. Just, I don't know why. I don't remember right now if he called the doctor. I think he went to the doctor again. Yeah, he went to the doctor, and then he called me from the doctor's office, and he says, no, the doctor said I just have a bug. It's just hanging on. It's nothing to worry about. And at that moment, I hear this evil laughter echoing all around the ceiling, like it was Vincent Price in a horror movie, like, ha, 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 yeah, ha, ha. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is horrible. Why are you doing this? And I was furious with Billy. I just felt like, how could you do this to me? This is horrible. You're putting me in this horrible situation. And then I said, I don't know why. I think you should just go to another doctor. Go to your regular doctor. Just go to our regular internist. So he makes an appointment, and he calls me a few days later. I guess he gets the appointment, and he calls me from the doctor, and he tells me that, oh, my God, she found something on his EKG. It was like the specialist, the stomach specialist, the internist didn't give him an EKG, but she did. There was something wrong. P.S., he went to the hospital. P.S.S., he needed immediate heart surgery. And if it had not been for Billy's warning, he might not have made it. So that was an extreme case of Billy actually reaching from the other side to really help save Steve's life.
Wow.
That's amazing that he knew exactly how to also catch your attention so you would take it seriously.
Yes, because I was so angry. I mean, we fight a lot. He's my brother, and, sometimes he wants me to do things, really, and I'm like, really? No. I was so angry at him for scaring me, and then I was so grateful to him for scaring me, because otherwise I might not have taken it really seriously. And a beautiful part of the story is that Steve, because there came a point at the very end of Billy's life when I was getting really ill from his disease of addiction, and Steve kind of took over the care and healing of Billy, and they were great friends, and Steve always made sure he had money, and he always made sure he had health care, and he really was Billy's friend literally to the day he died. And then it was like Billy reached back and saved him back. So that was really an amazingly beautiful, beautiful part of the story. And I must say, I have since heard other stories of people's lives being saved by the other side.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it's so inspiring to hear these stories and to know that the connection is there.
Yeah, I heard a wonderful story the other day from somebody that I know really well who never told me the story. He never told anybody the story. He read my book. He said, Annie, I have to tell you a story. He had grown up in Puerto Rico, and he never knew his father, and his mother, who he loved more than anything, died when he was about 14. And he got in with the wrong crowds. He was alone, and he lived the gang life and drugs and all kinds of stuff. And one day he was about to go into a house, and he heard his mother's voice. Jose, do not go into that house. Yeah, right, so she's on the other side. This is the first and only time he's ever heard this. And he's like, wow, I have to listen to this, right? Because I never hear this, anything like this. 5 minutes later, everyone in that house gets killed.
Oh, my goodness. So she really...
Everybody gets killed, and he turns his life completely around, and now he's a very happy father and husband and has a wonderful life. So, sometimes light can come from another dimension and really help us here.
Yes. Yeah, we have to be open to it. And it's so wonderful that all of this came together for you at a time when you were really open to it in your life.
I wouldn't exactly say I was open to it, but I would say that Billy made sure that I became open to it.
He nudged you just a little.
Yeah, he nudged me in a sometimes delicate, and actually the way he nudged me was I kept meeting, like I didn't tell anyone about it, maybe just a handful of friends, but every time I decided to tell a complete stranger, it turned out that that stranger had just lost someone that they loved. And the story brought them so much comfort that after a while I realized that even though I felt shy about it, I really didn't have the right to keep the story to myself because it didn't belong to me, and I still feel that way. I don't feel like it belongs to me. It belongs to anyone who wants to listen.
That's so wonderful. That's so wonderful. Now, with your current communications with Billy, since he is evolving and changing and rising through the dimensions, is your communication, and you talk about it in the book, that it's a little bit more difficult to hear him sometimes. How is it now?
I could give you an example of today.
Today,
I went to the beach because it wasn't so cold and looked out at the silvery water, and I said, I really like to go visit Hawaii. And I swear, there was Billy wearing a grass skirt doing a hula. So, that's kind of how it goes.
Oh, how funny.
Wow.
I know. Because I'm so serious. Like, should I go to Hawaii? Should I not go to Hawaii? What, the plane, the and then there he is, just like hulaing along, like lightening me up, like, yeah, go ahead, go. Do what you want. It's not so serious, kid. Have some fun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, he seems like, the way you describe him and the way I picture him, is a very electric personality. And yet, at the same time, I would think to continue to communicate and work with you and other people here, he probably has to maintain some piece of his persona so that everybody that's working with him, especially you, is going to continue to recognize him. And then maybe he has a larger side of the spiritual self of him that's continuing to do other things and evolve. I mean, it just seems like there's two of him.
Yes.
Not just one
I think
anymore.
that's very perceptive because I think sometimes he puts on his Billy personality to entertain me. And I'm really, really not sure about the whole thing, about, if he does it to entertain me. I know that he's evolved way beyond that, but I think it's because maybe it's something I need to just laugh a little bit more. So I think that whoever they are for you, kind of know what the right medicine is for you and the right approach is for you. And in a way, I like it that he jokes around with me because I just could get way too serious sometimes and take this all way too seriously. And I think one of the things I've learned that I never even knew before is that a sense of humor is a wonderful thing to have.
Yes. Yes, it lightens everything up.
It really does. Actually, today, my friends and I, we were doing the Billy laugh because Billy had a very special laugh. It was like a machine gun, slow and steady and very deep. And we were all trying to laugh like Billy. And we just had the greatest time, because sometimes you just do laughing meditation. You just laugh. So I think that you hit on something really good is that, he could put on different masks, different things, different ways of being to do whatever it is.
To reach us, because we're still in human form, and I think the other levels where he may be working with other things and himself tend to be rather abstract, and it's difficult for us to wrap our minds around it. So for him to continue his work with you, I think it's just quite an accomplishment also, in my opinion, that he's able to maintain his some semblance of his past persona and yet continue to evolve in so many other ways. It's amazing to me to watch this.
Well, I think it's easier for them. Like if we had to do that, it would be impossible.
It would be impossible.
But for them, it's I think it's very natural, and I think it's hard for us.
I got to stop you because he said to me just now. Annie, she's giving me a compliment. Let her give me a compliment,
right.
okay?
Sibling rivalry. Look at that.
He just said, and it's so funny the way he said it, because I am giving him a compliment, because even for them, what he's doing is unique.
Yes.
If there was one thing that Billy was, it was unique. That's a great word. I love it.
And he has come to you in like an orb, a round light, an orb shape?
Yes, that was when he was in the becoming the universe state. Right. It was like in part 2 of the book. Like he couldn't talk to me unless I focused in on the orb. So at that point, I had never seen him. It was only when he got a new body that I was able to see him. So it's quite
amazing.
Yeah, it's a very detailed evolutionary journey, really. I mean, we're kidding around a lot, but there's a lot of information in the book about what really goes on in the next world. Yeah. Yeah,
it's great information. I loved reading it. It was wonderful.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yes.
Yeah, it felt very accurate.
I see orbs, quite a bit of orbs. So I wonder if that is some of them could be people that are going through that stage and that are being present, around.
And then do you tune in to the orb and try to listen?
Yeah, actually, I have a digital camera, and I'm not a person with a camera at all, believe me. I just see their spark of light, this amazing bright light, very tiny spark. I click the camera, and I get these orbs.
Wow. Yep. I think that's... And the other thing is like that orb is a projection, because that's another thing that Billy taught me. It's like he doesn't really come here, like because it's where he's not really compatible with here anymore. So like the orbs and what I see, even when I say images of him, it's like a projector.
Right.
It's just like a light projection. It's not really him.
Yes, spiritual energy.
There you go, spiritual energy.
Yes, because orbs can bring messages or receive or bring them back and forth, too.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So I was just thinking, geez, I've had a lot of company.
You have. It sounds like it. I think we all have some nice company.
It's
amazing.
Annie,
are you going to write another book?
Oh, my God.
I hope you are.
Oh, my. Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
Well, we want to read part 2. I mean, this is a fantastic book. Again, I want to urge everybody to run out and tonight order your copy on Amazon, because this is great. I mean, this is a great book. It has, as you mentioned, information and valuable information, too, about the other side and what happens when you pass. But it's also about your relationship with Billy, how it is transformed. And, oh, my goodness, tremendous book.
And people often just report that, they have their own experience while they're reading the book. So, it's kind of a journey through the realms for the reader as well.
It really is. It's more than, let me say this, it's more than just words. There's energy in this book that is tremendously healing, obviously placed there by the two of you and Divine Spirit. It's an amazing book. And again, the name of the book is The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, How My Bad Boy Brother Proved to Me There Is Life After Death. And it is available on Amazon.com. And also, Annie, you mentioned your Facebook page, and people can go there and also...
Afterlife of Billy Fingers. It has pictures with all the little sayings from the book, Billy Wisdom. I think in a year we have like 62,000 people having a party there every day. So go take a look, and you could download the first chapter free there as well.
Oh, how
wonderful.
Nice. Well, Annie, what a pleasure this has been having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I totally enjoyed it.
Oh, we enjoyed you too. And Billy. Thank you,
Billy.
And Billy.
Billy made an appearance, so
he did. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you again, and many blessings to you. And we do hope you write that next book.
I'm sure Billy will have his way about that, too.
I think he heard that. Uh-oh. Oh, there you go, Annie.
Well, thank you, Annie. And now, Becky, I'm going to turn to you and ask you for your message. So I know you have a message for someone who's listening tonight, so I want to give you an opportunity to share that.
Yes. The message tonight is for Wayne. Open your eye now. Silver lights. Do not fear the dark. No shoya shaya nane ki tisiahya larati. Or shorenemia ande ke siataha. La sushukumu undu o shuaha. Hinti miande lariasi tikiyata. Anto shuane. Wayne, we are with you. And that's for Wayne out there. I hope you get this message and let me know.
Yes, please write back to Becky. You can find her email address at supernaturalgirls.com. And we'd love to hear from all the people that have received the messages. So go ahead and send your message
would be
back
wonderful.
to Becky.
Don't be shy.
Yeah. That's right. Becky, what a wonderful night this has been.
I know.
Goodness. You couldn't have had more fun, I'm telling you. This is great.
That book was really great.
Oh, a tremendous book, and Annie's a great guest, and I really hope she does write another book, and then we can have her back again.
Yes, she's a sweet soul. No wonder her brother didn't want to let her go, huh?
That's right. We can see why.
Yeah. I know. That was wonderful. Well, good night, Patricia.
Well, good night, Becky. Good night to everybody. This has been a terrific evening, and please join us next week, same time, same station. We're going to have another wonderful guest and great information for everybody. And make sure you go to our website and follow us so that you'll know what we are going to be doing next. Always exciting here at Supernatural Girls. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with Supernatural